Alright, so we are back with the third video of my E3 coverage, and today, this time around, rather, or in this case, me, as in I'm, talking about what EA and Ubisoft did for their respective press conferences. So let's get started with EA. So EA was the second press conference of the day, of that Monday, which was June the 9th. And let's get straight into it, because again, you know, I'm covering two press conferences in one here, but I got a lot of time, so let's go. The first game that they presented to us, Star Wars Battlefront. So yes, they hit us with a heavy hitter. Yeah, so now everybody pumped, everybody hyped. But here's a problem. There's two problems. It was mostly the developers talking about creating Star Wars Battlefront. And the second problem is the quote, "See more spring 2015. Yes, that's it. Not available spring 2015. But see more spring 2015. So that leads me to believe that the game won't be ready then, but we're going to get an update on their progress at spring 2015. That's a long time from now. So, I'll get more on that in a sec, you know, my upcoming video, my review video, because that was just crazy. After that, guess what? Surprise, surprise. We saw more Dragon Age Inquisition, which was covered on Xbox at my house phone going off for some odd reason. And then we get more from the developers that they're talking about the next Mass Effect. So yes, we see some clips of Mass Effect, but again, it's mostly the developers talking, and that's it. Then, for those of you who like this type of game, Sims 4 has been announced. Yes, Sims 4 comes out September 2nd of this year. Then after that, it's the new UFC. So we actually got gameplay which features Bruce Lee. And here's the shocker. Without warning, the game comes out next week. Yes, it comes out June the 17th, the same day as my Beat album, the OGs. I'm like, what? The game comes out next week? Wow. Like, I'm a little bit up and down about that. More on that later. That caught me by surprise. Then next, they showed us NHL 15. No release date for that. But it looks sweet. And, quote unquote, what they showed us was actual gameplay. Again, quote unquote. And I'm like, if that game looks like that, I may actually think about getting this game. That game looks sweet. And then we see something from Criteria Games. It was like, I forgot what the name of this game was. It was a prototype gameplay, so it looks like a prototype. And it's involved ATVs, helicopters, parachutes, jets, and etc. You know, it's got potential, you know, so don't sleep on it, don't knock it off. It got potential. Then after that, went back to the sports games. EA Sports, PJ Tour. The first golf game without the Tiger Woods name in part of it. Now, will Tiger Woods be part of the game? Who knows? Then their slogan is golf without limits. So what happens is you can golf on real courses or on fantasy courses. So for example, you're minding your business golfing, all of a sudden here comes a battleship destroying the majority of the fairway, but yet your ball flies over the battleship and lands on the green, and it looks like about to go in the hole. It looks crazy, but the environment look out cold. It looks sweet, but the characters themselves, they look kind of primitive. So and that comes out spring of next year, 2015, obviously. Then Madden 15, which comes out August 26th, and their focus is on the defense improvements, and the graphics looks okay, but yeah. Then the next game they present to us is Dawn Gate, and I think this is a game or a company called Dawn Gate, and it looks like an MMO, kind of like an MMO, but it's kind of cool. It looks kind of cool. Then, surprise, surprise, the developers are back, and they're talking about, and this is a bummer for me, they're just talking about Mirror Edge 2. So yes, we did get some gameplay, but they mostly talked about Mirror Edge 2, bringing in guys who roam the streets, who leap off of walls, who leap from roof to roof, who leap off a roof onto like the ground for like 30 feet in the air or whatever. And it's like, and that's it. I'm like, really? Then we get back to the sports games that they talk about FIFA 15, which comes out this fall, and their main thing is emotional intelligence, agility and control, man-to-man battles, authentic player visuals, dynamic match play presentation, living pitch. And it looks cool. That game looks amazing. You know, FIFA's FIFA. FIFA always good. FIFA always looks good, well, at least in comparison to Pro Evolution Soccer, which is also a good-looking game, but FIFA top-notch in all the soccer games. Not football, or if you want, you can call it a footballer, but soccer. And then of course, Battlefield Hardline, which comes out October 21st this year. And they showed us multiplayer. They did right. They showed us multiplayer. The multiplayer is cool, but it kind of looked like a typical Battlefield game as far as looks go. So basically, this one is cops and robbers rather than an army game. So that's a new twist. So that's pretty cool. And the beta was out at the end of this press conference. So that's also cool too. More on that later to a certain degree. Then we get to Ubisoft's press conference. And their host, Aisha Tyler, is fine. She's still fine. Even though she looked more mature than how she looked last year, this chick is still fine. And still hilarious, and like, dog, I would do anything just to hang with this chick. But let's get on with Ubisoft, and they start off big. They start off big, and they end it big. And how did they start off big? Far Cry 4. Yes, the first 5 minutes of Far Cry 4. It was rumored they were gonna come out next year. Screw that nonsense. November 18th of this year. Yes, Far Cry 4 comes out this year, and this game looks sick. After that, Just Dance 15 comes out this October, and it's pretty good because others can now score your performance. You can actually share your dance moves with the whole community. Like, I think you can share it on YouTube or through other means, and then they can score your performance. They can score your dance moves and so forth. Right now, it looks pretty cool. Then, of course, they talk about The Division, which is already covered by Microsoft. Then they talk about The Crew, which is still coming out this year. And then they talk about the Assassin's Creed Unity, which was again covered in Microsoft. And then a new game, Shape Up, which comes out this November. It's only for the Xbox One, but it looks pretty cool. So basically, it's like an intense workout, but it looks cool. It could get you motivated to actually do your workout. So, you know, that's the new thing. That looks pretty good. Then a new game, Valiant Hearts: The Great War. And how it looks unique. But like, if you were to see that trailer, it is very deep. It is extremely deep. It's so deep, like, it gets you so emotional. Like, you can't help but to get this game to play it, to see how deep it is. Like, I don't know what that was in the background, but it's just like, but this game, I was like, wow. It's obviously an army game. I'm not sure if the dog is the main character, but the dog is mostly shown throughout the trailer, going from one cat to another cat to a female to another cat. And I'm not sure these 4 people actually died at some point in the game, but it looks like, wow. Just the design is good. It's unique. It's good. It's just like the story and the story, you know, the story that they were telling, and I'm just like, wow, like. It's deep. It's really deep. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the YouTube citizens, even though Ubisoft didn't present a lot for their press conference, but they present, like, it was more quality over quantity, whichever one. You know, greatness over the amount, so to speak. And they ended with a gameplay of a multiplayer. I'm not gonna go reveal what it is yet. So it was a 5-on-5. There's a group of people who going in to try and rescue hostages, and the opposition is the one who captured the hostage and try to keep her contained. And they kill each other one at a time. And amongst the villains, there's this one guy who is supposedly badass, so to speak. They all worry about him to a degree. And they keep eliminating each other until it's just one guy left who about to rescue the hostage, and that badass of a villain. And we don't know what happened from there. And when it was all said and done, when the smoke settled and the dust was clear, what was this game? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, after years of absence, Rainbow Six Siege. Yes, Rainbow Six is back, and that gameplay looks sick, and that was multiplayer. They did it right, unlike Activision, unlike Sledgehammer, with that Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and they presented us again with multiplayer, and the gameplay, the game itself looks sick. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that joint. I was like, wow, that might be the game right there. So Ubisoft, like I said, they started big with the Far Cry 4. And then, you know, the Just Dance 15 for those who are into those types of games. And then they ended strong with the Valiant Heart, the Great War, and then of course Rainbow Six Siege. And I was like, wow, Ubisoft did it big. They didn't have a lot of games to present, but they still did it big this year. And did I mention that Aisha Tyler is fine? that girl is fine though. I'm sorry, like she's just too fine, man. But yeah, that's basically it for EA. That's basically it for Ubisoft. If you want, again, you want to hear my review on both of these press conferences, you know, my review video will be in the description box below, or you can hit up the table of content on the top left and check it out from there. And then, of course, coming up next is my coverage of Sony's press conference, which was the 4th press conference for the day. And as you can see, this gameplay is about to end, and it's a pretty close one. We're going back and forth, but then we ultimately lost, despite us triple capping at one point, and we lost by like 5 points. So that was a bit of a bummer. But you know, I did my thing in this game, so I ain't sweating it. You know, there's the final kill cam. So yeah, you know, that's pretty much that. And if you continue to watch my E3 press conference, I'll see you with the next video as I talk about Sony's press conference.